going on, you guys, and welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's having a freaking awesome day. Today we're going to be taking a look at an old school CyberPower gaming PC. This is probably one of the coolest PCs that I've ever come across. This PC is one of 13 computers that I just recently acquired for $150. Super cool guy. Thank you so much for hooking me up. He is also a subscriber. Before we get into the video, quick side note, YouTube has recently added the option to hype videos like mine. I'm not going to sit here and beg for it, but I would appreciate it if y'all gave me at least a hype or two. It pushes my videos into the algorithm, and it definitely generates a lot more views and subscribers, which is what we need. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what kind of PC we're dealing with here. This thing is freaking sick, you guys. Alright, so this is our PC in question here, and this thing is absolutely freaking massive. Look at how big this thing is. This PC has to weigh at least a good 30 pounds. Aside from that, I do notice that we have some kind of screen going on the front here, that would be freaking awesome. It does say AeroCool right here. I wonder if this is some kind of monitor to see our temps. That would be freaking totally sick. So aside from that, I do see on the front, it says that it's running an i7, which that would be also very sick. But this thing is also very, very dirty. If you look down here, you can see a good amount of dust. There's all kinds of debris and just crap in there. It does have a good bit of scratches. It has some kind of wear going on right here. Not really sure what's up with that. Very, very bizarre. But going to the back, we can see that we are running a graphics card, which is freaking totally cool. So this PC is perfect because of the time of year. In case you didn't notice the color scheme on here, it's black and orange. We're in fall, we're about to hit Halloween. I thought that this would be the perfect PC to do given the season. So we're gonna get this thing hooked up, see if it even turns on, and granted that it works, definitely put it through the paces with a slew of games. Alright, so we got this beast of a PC hooked up. Do you guys think that it's going to post? Fingers crossed. Come on. Uh-oh. And we are getting no post. Let me make sure that our power supply is actually turned on. Which it is. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pop off this side panel real quick and see if maybe our connections are unplugged or something. Alright, so we got our panel off here, and I am seeing that our connectors are in fact disconnected. But there's a power button right here. So is it going to turn on if I push that? We got power. Frickin' let's go. And it's even got orange lights. It's got orange and red lights. Oh, we do have one fan not working here. Okay, and we have an orange dim as well. So aside from that, I see that we are water cooled. We have a pretty decent looking graphics card here. Sheesh, but this thing is dirty on the inside. Alright, and we are immediately into the BIOS, and check this out. We're running an i7-4930K. Not freaking bad. So aside from that, I can see that our temperatures are, they're okay, they're acceptable, but they are not the greatest. It looks like we're running almost 40°C, and that's with a water-cooled configuration here. So I'm assuming that this fan is probably not doing its job very well. And it does look like this radiator is slightly plugged up. I mean, you can see through it, just not very well. And then also, a quick little side note, I can see that this is a single 4 gig stick of DDR3. This is G-Skill RAM. Definitely not going to be enough for what we plan on doing to this old gal. So we'll get this thing unplugged, get it on the operating table, and see what's going on the inside. Alright, so now I got this thing laid down on the table. I did not notice this before. So we have our DIMM right here, but then we have more DIMMs over here. So this is a quad channel setup. This is pretty freaking cool. I did not realize that these were over here. I guess I should have been looking at the BIOS a little bit better. What a cool freaking deal. So I'm going to go ahead, get all this stuff pulled out of here, and we're gonna get a closer look as to what we're working with here, and I want to know why this dang fan ain't working. I hope that it's just unplugged. Alright, so we got this thing all apart, and all I got to say is, wow, this thing is freaking disgusting. Look at these fans and how much just crap is freaking on here. You could tell that this thing was definitely freaking used. Same for our GPU, is just completely plugged. So I'll probably end up off camera getting this thing apart, giving it a good clean. So moving on to our case, it is just as nasty, if not more nasty. This thing is just, it's seen quite a bit of usage. Okay, so all that aside, this particular case has a crap ton of features. This thing is freaking sick. I cannot wait until it's all cleaned up and pretty. So for starters, it does have a fan controller built in right here, hence why the screen is up front. Upon booting, I honestly forgot to check to see if that even came on, but once we get it all back together, we will find out. Aside from that, we have built-in SATA connections right here, so that's a huge bonus. I'm pretty darn sure that I'm going to keep this thing. Not entirely sure yet, but this thing is just so goddamn cool. I am not sure if I want to get rid of it. So, in terms of specs, we're looking at an 800 watt PowerCo ATNG 80 Plus Bronze PSU. Definitely overkill for this type of system. Then we do have 5 120mm LED fans. 2 are red, 3 are orange. Moving on to our RAM, we have the single stick of G-Skill, and then we have 2 sticks of XPG ADATA. Honestly, not a big fan of this. They are good budget, entry-level DIMMs, but they have a tendency to fail. I've never trusted ADATA. These are all running at 4 gigs at 1600 megahertz. Then we move on to our GPU. After doing some research online, I discovered that this is a 3 gigabyte GTX 780. So I'm definitely hoping that this thing will actually be able to play some of the games that I plan on running on here. Next up, we have an MSI X79A-GD45 Plus motherboard, and you can actually run up to 5 GPUs in this thing. It does have AMD Crossfire, and it does have NVIDIA SLI. Definitely not freaking bad. I still have yet to pull off this cooler, but I will definitely be pulling this off and getting some new thermal paste on there. And then last but not least, we have our disk drive, which it looks like bird crap is on here, to be honest. This thing looks freaking nasty. But I'll give it a good clean and cross my fingers that this thing actually works. So I'm going to go ahead, get all this stuff cleaned up. When I come back, we will be ready to test this thing and see if it works. Alright you guys, so it's been quite a while. About 3 or 4 hours to be precise. Closer to 4 hours. And I finally got this thing cleaned off. Oh my god, this thing was a chore to get to the point that it's at right now, but holy crap, it was freaking worth it. This thing came out freaking gorgeous. She is so beautiful. Whatever imperfections you see, obviously, they can't be changed. But I got all the dust, all the crap out of here. And man, she cleans up so freaking nice. So let's go ahead and make sure that this thing still powers on. Alright, so it looks like our power button is still not working. So that's an issue that I'm going to have to address later down the line. But we do have our power switch right here. And on she goes. Let's freaking go. And look at that, that top fan works now. Absolutely freaking beautiful. This PC is what you would call stunning. This is such a beautiful computer. And look at that screen. Supposedly running at 19C, 20C, but I kind of doubt that. Absolutely phenomenal build. So when I come back, we're going to have Windows and a whole bunch of games installed onto this thing, and we're going to see what this old girl can do. Alright you guys, so before we actually get into the testing here, I do have the games downloading in the background right now. I just want to go over some specs on here real quick so you guys have a little bit more detail as to what we are actually working with here. So as previously stated, we have the i7-4930K. This is socket 2011. This is a 6-core, 12-thread processor, and it's pretty damn powerful. It draws almost, actually, I think it draws over 100 watts of power. So, absolutely an impressive CPU. For its time, this was baller. So, this CPU did launch all the way back in 2013-ish, I do believe. And then same can be said for our GTX 780, which is a 3 gig card, GDDR5. I do believe that came out right around 2013 as well, maybe toward the end of 2013, if I am correct. I did decide to go ahead and install 16 gigs of G-Skill RAM. I have 4 DIMMs, and that should be plenty enough for us to do what we need to do. So, if there's going to be any bottleneck, I definitely think that our GPU would absolutely bottleneck this CPU. And it's kind of tempting to do an update video with a more powerful GPU to see what the performance difference is going to be. So, when I do come back, we will be ready to try out some games and see what happens and see if this thing can actually perform. Alright you guys, so first up is a game called Valheim. This is an open world Viking survival game. Pretty damn cool. Amazing base building characteristics, awesome battle scenarios, awesome freaking game. So far, it's running fantastic. This is maxed out settings. This thing it's all high settings. So to be getting 60 FPS is that's phenomenal. The system is running fantastic. Our GTX 780 is running a little bit toasty, right around 80C. We do have 100% utilization, and it's drawing sometimes well over 200 watts, that's pretty dang crazy. Our CPU is nice and cool, right around 50C, with about 30% utilization. Sometimes it's a little bit higher than that, but definitely not bad at all. I am seeing into the 70s as well for FPS, so pretty damn solid build. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. Alright you guys, so next up is a game called MudRunner. I'm not really too familiar with this game, but I know it's a good game to use to benchmark systems and see what your system can do. So right off the bat, I'm seeing that we're getting right around 60 FPS, which is incredible. I do not have VSync turned on, and this is max settings. It's cranked up all the way, and it's running absolutely perfect. No lagging, no hitching, no issues. Our 780 is running nice and cool, right around 50 to 60C. And then we have our i7 running right around 40C, which is it's incredible. This is a really solid system so far. I know it's just a second game, but this can tell me right off the bat that the rest of the games are probably going to play without issue. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's see what else this system can do. So next up we have a game called Sons of the Forest. Super cool open world survival game. Awesome base building mechanics. Right off the bat, we are chilling right around 50 FPS. This is all high and low settings. It's running absolutely perfect. No lagging, no hitching, no stutters. It's very, very smooth. This is definitely a win. Not gonna lie, this is pretty damn impressive for a GTX 780. So, we are running 80C. We are getting 100% utilization, and we're drawing almost 200 watts of power, so definitely a power-hungry card. Our i7's chilling right around 50C, maybe in the mid-50s, and then we're getting about 40 to 50% utilization. So definitely a solid gaming experience. You know, on a budget, this is one hell of a system. So even in high-textured areas, it looks like we're maintaining, you know, high 40s to low 50s FPS. It's just absolutely incredible. Such a solid system. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on for the next game. Next up, we have a game called Palworld. This is like a better version of Pokemon. Instead, you're catching pals. So this is an open world survival game. You can build massive, awesome bases. In my opinion, this game probably has the best base building mechanics that I have ever seen in any game, period. It's hands down the best. With that being said, we are running right around 60 to 70C on our 780 with about 80% utilization. It's drawing about 180 watts. Our i7 is running right around 50C, and it's chilling right around 40% usage. So not freaking bad. So looks like we're stuck right around 60 FPS. Even in these highly textured areas, it's still running perfect. I'm getting no stuttering, no lagging, no issues whatsoever, even with pals in the area. And these are your pals right here. Cute little guy. So let's go ahead and check out our last game. Alright, so next up is a game called Body Cam. This is not an online match, but this is a online PvP shooter game. Honestly, you get smoked a lot, so it's kind of hard to showcase the game when I'm dying constantly. So, unfortunately, our Afterburner or Riva Tuner is not working on this game. I've tried probably for a good hour trying to get it to actually work, and it would not work. So, but I can definitely tell you that we're maybe hitting 30 FPS at best, and this is all low settings. This is as low as it can go. It is at 1080p. I might be able to lower the resolution a little bit and maybe get a little bit better performance, but I would say that, you know, with a PvP shooter, this would not be competitive whatsoever. So, and again, that's going to be our graphics card just totally kneecapping this system. So I have a feeling I'll end up doing a part 2 of this series, and I would really like to showcase what this system can actually do. So if you guys want to see a part 2 and see this with an actual GPU that can run some games, you gotta let me know. I would definitely be happy to oblige you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This PC was super fun to work with. Until next time, you guys, stay safe in the world. I'll catch you in the next one.